Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Maurice Brown Comedy Show, the Maurice Brown Show NFL edition, presented by MAGNOS Dentistry out of Belo Horizonte, Brazil, in the beautiful state of Minas Gerais. We're going to have hip hop artist Antoine Real Stewart on the show in just a few moments. And while we await his arrival, I just want to let you know that I did a film last year called Unknown Kingdom that received its fourth nomination. It's a short film, and we received our fourth nomination from Shepherds International Christian Film Festival out of India. And so that's going to be next year, I do believe. I got to get more information on it. I know it's our fourth nomination, and just finished shooting a film here in Austin, Texas, called Chance with Carter Nelms, and that film is in post-production and should be ready by the end. It's also a short film and should be ready by the end of the year. We want to get that Billy out to as many film festivals as we can, and we want to turn that one into perhaps a full feature or a series, which deals with sexual assault of a minor, which is an issue in our country and in churches. You know, it's an issue that we're dealing with, but we're doing it as a buddy cop film in the form of a thriller and a drama and comedy as well. And it's an interesting film. It's going to be coming out next year. It's a short one, like I said, and that's in post-production. Had an opportunity to be with Carter Nelms, who's an actor out of Nashville, Tennessee, and he's a really good actor. Really good actor. I had the honor of also enjoying this film as far as the making of it and acting in it myself alongside Skeeta Jenkins, who's a good friend and also a really, really good actor, and Venus Monique, who's in the Christian faith-based crime drama Vindication, who plays Detective Chris Tanner. She's in this film. Stephanie Peterson, who was in the film Undefiled. She was nominated for Best Supporting Actress in that film about 2 years ago. A good friend of mine, Michael J. Patterson, actually won for Best Supporting Male Actor in a full feature-length film. So I had a chance to work with some really good actors in this film. It was really good. It was a lot of fun. And Bijan Faramarzi of Spacefire Films shot this movie for me, and he's doing his due diligence to get that one wrapped up. It's in post-production, and we hope to have that film finished by the end of the year. And as I say all of that, expecting hip-hop artist Antoine Real Stewart to join us for our weekly conflab or conversation about the NFL and the latest goings on within that league. Coming up at 1 p.m. tomorrow, Thanksgiving Day games kick off with the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions going at it. And that's going to be a heck of a game. And it's going to be followed by the Kansas City Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys. That's coming up at 4:25. And then at the end of that, we got the Bengals of Cincinnati taking on the Baltimore Ravens at 8:20 on NBC Paramount. That game's not as big as the first two, but it's not small potatoes, as the Ravens are trying to get back in the playoffs, and Joe Burrow returns to the Bengals, which is going to be a tall task for the Ravens, who have to win this game to win. I think the Bengals are done. I don't think that Joe Burrow's really fighting for anything, but there's enough time remaining. There are enough games remaining in this season where if he just went on a tear and won the rest of them, they might be able to sneak in. But I don't know about all that. That's probably not going to happen, even if they did. But it's Joe Burrow and the Lamar Jackson going head to head to put a nightcap on the games for the evening. I hope you were watching earlier as we were talking about the NFL earlier. And as I say that, I welcome to the show Antoine Real Stewart. What's going on, Stu?
What's up, Mo?
Well, everything is good. Everything is good. Talking about tomorrow's matchups on Thanksgiving Day as we get our turkey and our mac and cheese and butter beans and collard greens and cornbread and, all the fried chicken and the stuffing and the potato salad and, all the good stuff. We got some good games coming up tomorrow. And the one that's going to kick it off at 1:00 on Fox will be the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Classic Thanksgiving matchup. Two teams that have so much potential, but I feel like they're both kind of struggling to find their way to really put their emphasis and their stamp that they have arrived for this year. This is what have you done for me lately league. You can't bring what you did last year into the new year. So I think both of these teams have a chance on national television to display that we are that. We are them. We are those boys. We are who you thought we were. We were figuring it out. Because these are two great teams. It's not like a matchup where the Packers are trash and the Lions are this great team or vice versa. These are two great teams with great rosters to where you can put on tape and you can display why you are the more dominant team against a good team and get the credit. So I think it's a great matchup and I'm looking for a great game.
It's a great matchup. I think the Packers and Lions are a classic NFC North battle, and the Lions haven't looked like they did last couple of seasons, although they still look good. They don't look quite as dominant to me, and Green Bay has yet to live up to what we think they're capable of, as they're both playing well. They're both in playoff contention, and it certainly should be a very good matchup. I mean, Packers Lions. I mean, you can't add any more to that to kick off your Thanksgiving, and then to top things off. To be totally honest with you, I think the game of the day comes up at 4:25 on CBS Paramount as the Kansas City Chiefs go into Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Your thoughts on this matchup?
Man, great matchup. The Chiefs did what I called last week. They had to approach it like it was a playoff game, and they showed that they're not done just yet. And I think that Mahomes and the team have kind of rejuvenized themselves, and are trying to get into that approaching the playoff gear. And the Dallas Cowboys are coming off a great win in Philly, who have a great defense. So this is a great matchup. I think I'm curious to see. To be honest with you, I'm curious to see how great Dallas defense does against Patrick Mahomes at home. I believe that Dallas's offense will put up good numbers. Kenny Pickett, Pickens, and he's balling out of control. He's doing his thing, and they got a great receiving core and stuff like that. So I think Dak will pick up where he left off last week. But I'm curious to see how Dallas defense steps up to the plate, and are they able to, stop the Chiefs enough, and are their offense able to score enough points to come up with the win?
Yeah, I think Kansas City's in a must-win mode, and they will be in must-win for the remainder of the season. They have to go into Dallas and win this game. The Cowboys, they're playing with house money. Yeah, it would be nice if they made it, but they weren't expected to make it. So if they don't, it won't be that big of a deal. They're far exceeding expectations. The defense is just not getting the job done. But Dak Prescott is playing top 3 quarterback in the NFL and keeping them in every game. And Dallas is not an easy out. I mean, I just think the Chiefs are going to have their hands full in this game. I expect the Chiefs to win the game. I'm not going to get on this Dallas Cowboy bandwagon like the rest of these Cowboy fans. They're already talking crazy. But I will. They're already talking crazy. But I will give them enough respect to say if you don't go in there with your chin strap buckled, they will beat you. And the Chiefs need to understand that. They got to have this game, and it's just. It's the game of the day to be, because it's in Dallas and all the trash talking that those Cowboy fans that they're already doing. But they can do a little bit talking right now. I'm not going to mess with them too much. They can talk a little bit, and the Chiefs have got to win the game. So I don't think you can ask for too much better than that. They're coming up at 8:20. This is the least of the 3, but it's still a nice nightcap for Thanksgiving Day and Joe Burrow versus Lamar Jackson. Because the Baltimore Ravens, like Kansas City, are in must-win mode. You take Joe Burrow out, yeah, they got this one. But Joe Burrow is going to be there, and he's playing with house money. The Bengals are done. They're not going anywhere. But Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow, and he would like nothing better than to spoil the Baltimore Ravens playoff hopes. Your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I think I'm picking the Ravens to win at home, only because that they, have more on the line. But of course, the Bengals love to play spoiler, and I believe that also Joe Burrows is not going to have his number 1 weapon. Or is he suspended? He suspended this game?
I don't think so. Jamar only got a 1-game suspension. I think that was last week.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think they're definitely playing spoiler and try to get an upset and try to get knock the Ravens out of playoff contention. And, winning and the Ravens losing would definitely hurt the Ravens tremendously. So I think it's one of those things where, because Baltimore has so much on the line, and that Lamar is back in there in full swing, and Lamar has been back for consecutive weeks to where I feel like he's in his rhythm, he's in his groove. The running game has improved with Henry, and I think that Baltimore right now are playing better football, and they have more to lose. So I think we're going to see a great game on display at home in Baltimore, and I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to get the dub.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Baltimore. I mean, I would not pick against them in this game. I fully expect them to win the game, but they're going to have their chin straps buckled, simply because we're talking about Joe Burrow. I mean, it's just something about Joe Burrow, dude. I mean, he's amazing. He is a flat out baller, and he will have Jamar Chase along with T. Higgins. And this is the Ravens are going to have their hands full. Okay. And I expect them to win, but this is not going to be like the previous 3 where they were playing against teams that they really should have had no problem with, and they didn't. So I just think it's a nice nightcap for the night. It'll be entertaining, but I expect the Ravens to win the ball game. Now, I want to look at some of the power ratings, but before we do that, there's an individual that I want to talk about that's been getting disrespected big time, and I think you know who I'm talking about, and it's that man right there, Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders started last week after practicing with the first team all season and won handily, 24-10. And Kevin Stefanski immediately after the ball game said, I'm not committing to him as the starter next week, which I find insane. And if the Browns, and I haven't heard yet, but I want to say that he has already named Shador the starter for Sunday.
Yes.
Okay. But to say what he said immediately following tells me that he's not sold on Shador. And I'm thinking, what more evidence do you need? Stu, I turn the table over to you.
So, we got to understand that this one is Kevin Stefanski is a Gabriel guy. He's not a Shador guy. Shador is not his pick. And I believe, is his name Dylan? Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel has cleared concussion protocol. So he is back. And I honestly believe that if it was up to Stefanski, Dylan Gabriel will be starting again. But it's not up to Stefanski. I think that what I spoke on earlier, as far as the GM and the head coach, they really getting down to the GM and the owner, and them really like, look, what are we going to do? We got one guy want to go in another direction, one guy going in another direction. The fan base and the team clearly is pro Shador. Myles Garrett is the leader of that team, and he is pro Shador. And I think you saw everybody from the O-line to the receivers to the defense. They just got this spark about him when Shador was on the field. It just felt like it re-energized, and I've said this before. Better than what we as the fans know, the players know who's the better player and who should be on the field. Both of them are rookies. It's not like you got a seasoned vet who's won playoff games and done this and done that, or the new guy, the new toy. You got two rookies. The only difference is Dylan Gabriel has gotten reps with the ones since he's been there when Flacco was the quarterback, and he's gotten more starts, more things to put on tape. And everybody in that locker room knew, because they were speaking out on it. They may not have been saying it outright, but too many NFL players with Chad Ochocinco, Shannon Sharp, and too many people that are connected internally in these locker rooms and having friends of players and stuff like that were speaking up. And they were like, look, in the locker room, everybody wants Shador to play. Of course, politically, people are going to say the right things on camera, but everyone wants Shador. So Shador has the locker room. Shador has the fan base. Shador is what people want to see. I believe the statistics came out that the numbers of how many people watched that game were crazy, as far as to what a normal Browns game is. So he's bringing more viewership, everything. He's the total package. And this kid, if we're honest, he was a first round pick. Everyone had him in the top two quarterbacks, either Cam Ward or Shador Sanders. From that to falling to 5 without any off the field issues, without anything in particular as far as really something that would make you drop that tremendously. It was fool's gold, man. It shouldn't have happened. It happened. And then we're not going to sit here and act like Shador Sanders is a 5th round pick as far as talent. He was 1st round pick of talent. It's just that Stefanski, for whatever reason, only he can answer this question. I don't know if he thought that, if I start this kid and he starts doing well, they're going to replace me with Dion. I don't know what he thought. But you're going to get replaced anyway, because that's the way it's looking. The owner has already came out and said that he's looking to shake things up because he has a choice. The owner can do 2 things. Well, actually 3 things. He can clear house, fire the GM, fire the head coach, start from scratch. He can side with one or the other, which I believe personally he's going to side with the GM, because when they got rid of Flacco, I knew the owner was siding with the GM. He may not have been out loud about it, But that was a huge move because it's like, okay, you get rid of Flacco, and now you're stuck with, you got rid of was it Kenny Pickett? Now you're stuck with two rookie quarterbacks. One is a real first round talent in Shedeur Sanders, and one was Dylan Gabriel. We know with Dylan Gabriel getting to start eventually on a struggling offense, what was going to happen. It was going to be the Shedeur Sanders show. The question was a matter of when and how long they can hold out. And it hasn't been too long before Shedeur, he forced his way in there. And, in the NFL, you're one hit away from being injured, concussed, or whatever. The next man has to be ready. And Stefanski, I know he has the pedigree and his dad and all this other stuff, but he did a terrible job at preparing his backup, Shedeur, to be a starter. And now that he was forced to be a starter, I honestly believe that from the GM and the owner, they have taken his ability to do what he wants to do. Because when the following day, when he Shedeur Sanders as the starter, it was no hesitance. He just came out and said it. And it kind of almost sounded like he was reading a script. Like these were not his words and his feelings, that he was being forced to make this call. And I honestly believe that the writing is on the wall. And the GM are probably like, look, whether you like it or not, this train is coming. You either on it or you can get off it. It's up to you. And he has no choice, or you can be fired, right? So this is one of those things. It's unfortunate, but you know what? I like this role for Shedeur. We know Shedeur being Deion Sanders' kid, growing up, financially stable, growing up having your dad coach you your whole career, always having that preference, not really facing too much turmoil and too much, negative publicity in the media. So having all of this, having to fight all against this, having to, bury your pride and keep your head up and keep going, I think in the end, it's going to make him not only a better quarterback, but also a better person and to be battle tested. I just hope the only thing that I don't like from the media and from fans are, remember, this is only his second start coming up. He is a rookie. You have too many quarterbacks in this league that it took them 2 to 3 seasons before they emerge and who we know them as to now. And I'm talking about Josh Allen. You go back and you look at statistically Josh Allen's first 2 years, he was horrible. You can look in Carolina. You have a quarterback there, the won the Heisman, right? If I'm not mistaken. Great talent.
Yeah.
But he's struggling. He's not on a great team. He's been in the league a few years now, and he's still struggling. We've seen it. It takes time to develop these quarterbacks, and they waste time when you don't put your quarterbacks in the best position to learn, getting the reps, getting the coaching. When he's battling so many battles internally and with the media, with the fan base, with everybody, and everybody's talking to Shedeur, and he's fighting his own coach. It's a lot. How can you succeed when your own coach doesn't want to see you succeed? The writing is on the wall. So I hope it's one thing he does overcome. And I hope that when the 49ers beat up on the Cleveland Browns, that they don't say, now look at him. Look, it's his second start. What do you want from him? That's why I'm glad Shedeur said, imagine what I would do with a whole off season to really lock in. Look, this is not going to be an overnight process. He may have a great game here. He may have a bad game there, but this kid needs to develop. He has the talent. We've seen the splash plays. He just needs to play, develop, and have people around him who want to see him truly succeed so he can be the best player he could be.
The sad thing about this situation in Cleveland is Myles Garrett, who's being subjected to all of this foolishness. Here's a guy that, and as I say that, we welcome to the show Aaron Too Tall Moore. What's up? What's up, Too Tall?
What's going on, fellas?
Everything
What's
is
up,
good.
bro?
What's up, Stu?
What's good,
We
man?
we were just talking about Shedeur Sanders and what a travesty it is for Myles Garrett to have to be subjected to this foolishness. Here's a guy that's the best. I don't care what people say about you can talk about Matt Stafford all you want to. The best player in the NFL is Myles Garrett, period. And he's being wasted. And to have to put up with Kevin Stefanski's inability to make a decision a 5-year-old kid can make is ridiculous. And I tell you right now, I look at Dylan Gabriel, and I'll be, with all due respect to Dylan Gabriel, he's a very smart quarterback. He's not an NFL quarterback physically. He doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have the physical ability to play that position in the NFL. He can be an assistant coach for somebody. I'd get him ready to, carry. Hey, look, man, I heard this Division III school is looking for a coach. Dylan, I can hook you up. But he's not an NFL quarterback. So why are we? what are we doing in Cleveland? It's pretty pathetic. But I think we know that if they would just go ahead and make the right call, that the Cleveland Browns are set up to be a very successful football team. What are your thoughts, Aaron?
I watched that game. You're right about Gabriel. I mean, I think his best bet's probably a backup. And it was just a different energy with Shedeur in there. I mean, I felt it. I could see it through the TV. I mean, you could see the players. You saw Myles Garrett on the sideline when Shedeur made that, that extended play when he rolled out to the right and threw that dime downfield. It was like Myles Garrett was like, "What? I'd never seen that before. Like, what is going on?" So I mean, he just brings another energy. Did he play a perfect game? No, of course not. He's still young. He's still gonna make mistakes, but he has an NFL arm. Everybody knows that, and I think Stefanski is kind of like in a little predicament now because I think Shedeur is out to prove him wrong, and he's gonna make him look foolish. I believe at the end, but it's. He has a big test coming up this week, but I think he's going to be okay. I already said I didn't believe he was a 5th-round pick. I thought he should have been drafted no later than the 2nd round, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but I mean, we're going to see what he do. One thing I do think he needs to do more of is give more praise to his teammates. I think that's where a lot of flack Sanders gets is. It's like, especially in the NFL, when you're a quarterback. I mean, any level. When it's going good, you praise your teammates. When it's going bad, you praise yourself. I mean, you tell them yourself. So I think as a quarter, I think that's one thing he does have to learn. But I mean, to me, he played a heck of a game. It was the Raiders. Take that account, but it still was a NFL team he played against. You only could play who on your schedule, but. I think he's gonna make the Browns organization, especially Stefanski, look foolish.
Well, I totally agree with you. I'm rooting for Shedeur. You're right. I mean, he's got a big test coming up against the 49ers, which we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the show. I do want to switch gears to Friday and the matchup with the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles. Prime Video, 3 p.m. on Friday, as we celebrate the holiday weekend. I got to tell you, I mentioned this last week that something's wrong in Philadelphia. I think all this stuff with A.J. Brown running his mouth after winning each game is affecting Jalen. It's affecting the offense. And the implosion that occurred 3 years ago, hey, guys, we're starting to see it kind of creep in a little bit here. This game, it's not a must-win game. Philly's fine. It's not like they got to beat the Bears. But at the same time, guess what? They got to beat the Bears. Stu, your thoughts on this matchup?
Oh yeah, this is a game as far as momentum goes. You got a hot Chicago team that's playing really good ball right now, and Philly coming off of a loss. And although the AJ Brown drama has been a little bit too much, there is some truth in what he was saying. We just wish he wasn't spewing it out to the media. In that Philly's offense got to step up. The Philadelphia Eagles, Kevin, what's his name? Pachulo? He's going to have to figure it out. And you have too many weapons to be running this vanilla basic offense. And someone pointed it out in the news media. It was like they seen Pachulo's offense with all the bells and whistles, meaning as far as indirect, the movement at the snap, this and that, all the stuff that we see the great offensive minds do. They've seen him do it. He's just not doing it in Philly. And that's the question. Why aren't you creative in Philly? Why is your offense so basic? Are you saying that Hurts can't handle it? Are you saying that? What are you saying? You have all of these luxury cars at your disposal, Ferraris, Corvettes, Jags. You got all kind of weapons everywhere, and you're just doing this vanilla basic offense, and it's not a good look. And if they don't step that up from an offensive standpoint, one, you're going to wear out that defense. Two, in games like last week, when you need your offense to bail out the defense, they started off great, but Dallas got hot, right? And you got to keep scoring. You got to keep scoring in that situation. If the defense is letting the team get back into the game, if you keep scoring touchdowns, you don't have to worry about it. But when you stop scoring, which is a big issue, Philadelphia's ability to score. If you go back and look at these last few games they won, you beat a team 10-6, or you beat a team 14, or low scoring games to where the defense showed up. But when you're facing a hot offense, like how Dallas is now, or like so many other teams in the league, can you keep up offensively? And that's what we have not seen from Philly. We've seen them relying on their defense to keep teams under a certain number, so that all they have to do, if I score 14, we're going to win the game. What happens if you got to score 28? What happens if you got to score 30-something points? Can you win these games? And that's the biggest thing for me. I think that Chicago Bears are a very dangerous team. They're playing good ball right now, and they got a great offense. They're able to score points. Can Philadelphia match them as far as on the scoring? They can on paper all day, but we haven't been seeing that on the field, and that's the biggest thing that I'm gonna be looking at going forward at this game.
So, too tall. I'm gonna throw it over to you. What's your thoughts on the situation in Philly?
So I was able to get some inside scoop from somebody who's inside the Philadelphia organization.
Okay.
Who knows somebody who's inside the Philadelphia organization? Let me say that.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say that Jalen Hurts is not the same person he was when he came into the league.
All right.
What do I mean by that?
Okay.
What do I mean by that? It's a couple things. Number one, word on the street is fame is getting to his head.
Okay.
Word on the street. Now that's what I'm hearing. Two, the beef between well, we all know this is true. The beef between him and Brown is real. They don't like each other.
Okay.
They used to be boys. I think Brown was Hurts' godfather or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Before, maybe I believe that's what I heard. But and then my last point is Hurts is not a good quarterback. I mean, he's a winner. He is a winner. He wins, but they win in spite of Hurts, not because of Hurts. I don't understand why is that so difficult for people to understand. He's not a good quarterback. And if other quarterbacks and receivers have come out and said this, he's not a good quarterback. He's an athlete that plays quarterback, but he's not going to step back and give you the numbers you want as Brown wants. And it's not. The only reason they win, and the only reason they won last year, is because of Barkley. I mean, we all know that in the defense. Now, can Hurts come out and have a 350 game, 2-3 touchdown game? Of course he can. He's done it.
Yes.
But can he do that consistently? Absolutely not. The game plan going in to playing the Philadelphia Eagles is 1, slow down the running game in Barkley. 2, let's make sure AJ Brown don't get off. We all know Hurts is not that guy. Okay. He's a bus rider, not a bus driver.
Okay. Okay. Now, let me just say this. I knew something was wrong with those two. Like that, those two are just not getting along. And I think that deeper than that, Nick Sirianni's got to take accountability for this. You know, you're the head coach. I mean, you have to manage this, and you have to be able to use Saquon Barkley better than the way they're not using Saquon like they did last year. Why are they not using him the same way? I don't know. But at the end of the day, the head of the snake is Nick Sirianni. And it's a shame that Jalen and AJ can't get along because they are winning. And I mean, you know, so can Jalen get AJ the ball when he needs to get AJ the ball out of a break on a deep post? Not really. He misses him half the time. He's not able to get the ball there. I get that. But at the end of the day, can we focus on winning? I mean, that's a good team. And I just hate seeing two brothers not get along like that, you know. And, yeah, I don't know if Jalen is, you know, thinking he's all that or whatever. He's a good quarterback. I can't hate on Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I refuse to hate on Jalen Hurts. He is a very good quarterback with a Super Bowl ring and been to the big show twice.
Not because of him.
So I can't. I can't do it. I like Jalen. The guy's good. You know, but they got to start getting along, man. They got to stop this.
But that's the whole thing. They win a championship, but it's not because of him. I think he's not. Yes, they're winning. They have an excellent defense, right? And they win because they knew how to run the ball.
Who's the guy that's quarterbacking behind Jalen Hurts? Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer? He's not going to win no championship. That kid, what's the kid's name that's backing up Jalen?
I would say that if you put Jalen on, does Jalen elevate players' play? Because it's a couple tiers here. It's quarterbacks, for instance, Jaden Daniels. Last year, Jaden Daniels elevated the team's play to where they went to the NFC Championship. Without Jaden Daniels, they don't make it. Everybody knows that.
I totally agree.
If you would have put Hurts on that team last year, they don't make it to the championship game. Guarantee you. They don't. He's not one of them players that will elevate your team to that next level. Now, if you got the talent around him, can you win? Yeah, you can win. They've done it. Super Bowl, been to Super Bowl rings. He's done it. But he's not that guy that's going to take you to the next level. And I just think it's different tiers of quarterbacks. Like just because a quarterback wins and get rings, it doesn't mean that he's a bus driver. And I like that. I mean, we can name plenty of quarterbacks who got a ring because of the team around them. So I just, to me, when it comes to quarterback play, he's not a very good quarterback. If you look at quarterbacks, just like quarterbacks standing in the pocket, making reads, making the right throw, not overthrowing people, putting the ball where it's supposed to be, just being a quarterback, he's not a good quarterback. And I think people take that out of perspective of, making plays, being an athlete and being a quarterback. And I think that's two different things. He's not a good quarterback. I mean, that's just me personally. I mean, I just think he's a good quarterback, but he's on a great team and he's in the passenger seat while the defense and Barkley is driving the bus. But like you said, you got to give Barkley's not getting the touches. He got to get the touches. You got to run that offense through Barkley to set up the play action pass so you can go to Brown, and so you can get some of them throws that can help. And I think that's what made Jalen look so good last year is because Barkley, everybody was focused on Barkley. And then when you do these play action passes and all this other stuff, it opens up the outside and he was able to, make plays. So, but to me, he's not a very good quarterback.
Well, and again, and I will have to say that it's a combination of a lot of different things. I don't think Jalen Hurts is your classic 5-step drop, ball out, going where it needs to go, and all those different things, a dig, whatever. But Nick Sirianni is in charge of that team. And Saquon Barkley, for some reason, is not getting the ball like he was last year. It's no need to try to reinvent the wheel. So you look at the Eagles right now, that's like, okay, look, I'm starting to see an implosion like I did 3 years ago. It's slow, but that thing is starting to implode, dude. And I'm telling you, if you go in there and if you play the Bears the way that they've been playing, they're going to lose. They're going to lose to Chicago. And if they lose to Chicago in Philly, we're going to have a problem in Philadelphia. I'm telling you, it's going to be on.
It's crazy to say this may be a must-win for the Eagles. It's crazy to say that depending on their record. Because like you said, the noise is going to come out. If they lose this game, coming up 21 against Dallas, and Dallas come back and win that game.
Yeah.
And then if the Bears squeak out a win against them, If
you as an NFC North Green Bay Packer fan, I hate saying this. The Bears can be a problem. If you fool around with Chicago, they're going to beat you. I mean, they're 8-3 for a reason. And Philly better stop playing around, because if they lose this game to Chicago on Friday, there's going to be a real issue in that town. And matter of fact, someone's head may roll. Someone may get traded. Someone may get benched. Someone may get fired. But you look at what's happening there, it looks like the same thing 3 years ago. I remember this TV show where the husband kept gambling. He promised his wife he wouldn't gamble anymore. He stopped gambling and cheating and everything. And then all of a sudden, he had a poker game at his crib, and they caught him cheating again. And, the boys, they were going to tighten him up for doing that. And the last thing the wife said was, just like Vegas. See, that's what's going to happen to Philadelphia this year. It's going to be just like Vegas. You guys imploded again, and there won't be you can't invent anymore or go out and find any more Saquon Barkley. So anyway, long story short, 3:00 Prime Video, one of the best games of the week. I think the best games are on Thanksgiving and Friday. Sunday's matchups don't look all that great. I'm going to switch over to Cleveland and San Francisco. That's at 1:00 on Sunday. And this is a marquee game because of Shedeur. I don't think Cleveland really is. I rephrase. Cleveland's not going anywhere. But because Shedeur is there, All Myles Garrett and that defense needs is decent quarterback play. They don't need Shador to be great. Give me decent quarterback play, and we'll go win the ball game. I think the 49ers are going to have a dogfight on their hands. What's your thoughts on this? I'll come to you later, Stu. Aaron, what's your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, if I would say if the Browns can keep it close. I mean, the Browns, they don't. We all know their defense is, stacked, so they don't need a lot of points.
No.
If somehow Shador could get 20,
that's it.
Yeah, that's all they need in that 17-20 range. If the defense come out and play, then it's going to be a battle. I don't think I think it's going to be close up to. I do think the 49ers are going to win.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win, but I think it's going to be a dogfight up into the fourth quarter.
Well, I'm gonna throw it over to you, Stuart. But I must say, no, I agree with Tutal. They should win. The 49ers should win the ball game.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Purdy better play well. That's all I'm gonna say.
He better play well. Because Myles Garrett and them boys is coming.
You can't come out and be throwing 2-3 picks this game like you did last game. You can't do
all that. You got to do, let me tell you something. All you got to do is watch the games that Cleveland has been in, and they have a really bad record. But every game, Myles Garrett is balling his butt off, and he's all over the opposing quarterback, and he's giving them a long, hard day, not getting support on the offensive side of the ball. And I just think the 49ers, much like the Eagles, need to make sure, hey, look, guys, we need to come in here and buckle up this chin strap and take care of business. Because if we fool around with these guys, they might get us today. Stu?
Mm-hmm. I would love for Shador Sanders to say, you know what, my back got a little tight. Go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead, Tiger. You know what I'm saying? Because I think if that were to happen, that would be Dylan Gabriel's last time going in the game.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those things to where I want to see Shador do well. Of course, I want my team to win, but I want him to have one of those outings to where he can make some splash plays and show some promise and, pick up from what he did last week. To where it's like, oh, man, I see the promise. We may not have won this game, but we need some help around him on the offensive side of the ball. You got receivers dropping, fumbling and doing all this other stuff. So, it's one of those things. But please believe it. 49ers are going to be ready. We're about to give Myles Garrett the Aaron Donald treatment. There will be a game plan around Myles Garrett. You will see some screen balls. You will see a lot of passes to Christian McCaffrey. You will see a lot of quick passes to George Kittle. Anything to neutralize that defense. You won't see a lot of deep balls unless we can establish the run and get some play action going and stuff like that. But I'm rooting for Shador. I want to see him do well. I want to see him continue to develop. I just want the fans and the media to cater our expectations to reality that this is Shador's second game starting. We've seen Cam Ward start the entire year, and I've seen splashes, but consistently I haven't seen anything that's like, oh man, he's arrived. I've seen splashes with Cam Ward. Oh man, that was a great play. But he's still developing. And this is a kid who was the starter in the offseason, who went through mini camp and training camp as the starter, getting the reps and everything. And you still see where he has to develop. So I just want people to have a realistic approach. Like, look, Shador should be starter, no question. Don't expect him to be a world beater every week. He's going to struggle. He's going to throw picks. He's going to, have some lapse of judgment plays and stuff like that. But what we do see from a talent perspective is as he develops and the more time he gets to play and get comfortable in that space, and that they're able to get talent around him, the more we'll see Shador start looking like what we saw in college, just at that next level. Because you got to get that offensive line together. You got a good running back, and get some more weapons around him. We can really see him awesome. We're not going to see it week 2, week 3. We may see some splashes to where he may make some great plays, but I want everyone to get realistic expectations of what we're going to see, and not think that you're going to see Shador come out there and look like, Shador threw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's not what we're about to see. We just want to see him out there because he is the best player on that team, and he needs to be developed the correct way without having to fight his coach tooth and nail every time you turn around.
I totally agree with that. That's going to be one of the most watched games on Sunday. Cleveland and San Francisco at 1:00, and then Houston and the Colts hook up. Now we got an interesting situation with the Colts and the Texans, because now the Texans are 3-0 with Davis Mills. CJ Stroud was struggling at 3-5 when he went out, and now the Texans are 6-5. And Davis Mills is not doing anything great. He's just not making mistakes. And he's making good reads and good decisions. And the Texans have the best defense in the NFL. And I hate saying this, but you start to wonder, is CJ the guy going forward? Well, you're paying him too much money for him not to be. So you're hoping that whenever he gets back, that he can play better than what he was playing. But at the end of the day, DeMeco Ryans, is there to win a championship. Now the Colts are starting to slide a little bit, and they're going to be at home. This is going to be a great AFC South matchup. Aaron, your thoughts on this one?
I want to piggyback on the Texans real quick. I think DeMeco Ryan is in a tough spot because you don't want to stop this wave. So what do I mean by that is, you got Mills on it, and Mills is not a bum. Like, remember when he was drafted by the Texans before, with the Texans earlier, they didn't really have a good team. Not how they do now. Now he has a team around him with a good a good defense. So it's like, do you stay with the hot hand, or because if you bring CJ back and you lose, the team is like, because you got 53 other men in there, you're like, dang, maybe we should have stayed with Mills. If CJ come back, he throw 2 interceptions, they lose. So I think this Texan Colts game is going to be big. I think you stay with the hot hand with Mills until he have a bad game, and you just go back to CJ, because going from Mills playing well and then putting CJ in, you can't go back to Mills, because that's going to send a bad precedent to your team. So I think DeMeco that's why he get paid the big bucks to make these decisions. So
yeah, I know. There's no question about it. Davis Mills sounds like a superstore. But that being said, Stu, your thoughts on this Texans-Colts matchup, 1:00 on Sunday?
I think you got to start with CJ, man. Davis Mills can go back on aisle 3, have a seat. Because if you look at the stats,
they 3-0
if you look at the stats, he's not doing anything great. It's just like, okay, like you said, you're not making mistakes. Okay, cool. You being safe with the football. You're not really trying to go down the field and do something crazy. I just think CJ, I think he has enough respect from the team, especially from his rookie year. This is his 3rd year, to where in their hearts, that's the guy I'm going to go to war with. I think he has that type of relationship with his team. And I think with a number 1 defense like they had, it affords you to make a little bit mistakes. But I absolutely CJ needs to clean up on his mistakes. Start just playing simple, taking what the defense is giving you. Stop trying to play hero ball that we've seen, and just keep it simple. If the little check down is open, get the check down. You know, if it's 3rd and 3, don't throw a 40-yard bomb. Get the first down. Throw the bomb on 1st or 2nd down. You know, little tweaks here and there to his game, to knowing when to take your shots and when to play it safe, when the down the distance it is, when the first down is more important than the chunk play. Just putting it all together, because his rookie year he could do no wrong, and you know he had a sophomore slump, and now it's like, you know, which way are we going to go with this thing? And as Aaron pointed out, you know, Mills is winning. He may not be playing great ball, but they're winning. I think if Mills was like statting it up and they're winning, and the whole team offense looked like it was elevated to a next level, it would be a little bit more issues. But when you really look at the tape, look at it like he's not really doing anything special. The defense is so good, you just have to not mess up and we can win. And it's like, CJ, look, don't do too much, man. Don't play no hero ball. Just slow walk this thing, and you know, get till you get back into the stride to where he's comfortable. He doesn't seem comfortable in the pocket to me this year. Seems like he still has that sophomore slump on his breath to where he's still trying to get it together. So I'm hoping that CJ can bounce back. I think he has the respect of D'Amico. They drafted him, right? And we all know that when coaches draft a player, you have more leeway than when you inherit a player. If D'Amico would have inherited CJ, it would have been a little shaky. But I think because that was his guy, he's going to make sure that that's, you know, his guy is right. Now, if CJ is not 100%, then this is a great week to sit out against the Colts defense. This is a great week to be like, you know what, man, give me one more week. Give me one more week and let Mills stink the joint up. But on the flip side, if they go in there and Mills beat the Colts, that's going to add even more pressure. So which way are you going to swing this thing? I'm taking the Texans on the road against a very good Colts team. This can easily go either way. The Colts are playing great ball right now, but I'm hoping that CJ can get back in the flow of things, and that number one defense can keep the Colts score down to where the Texans can get the dub.
Well, I can tell you right now, this is a must-win for Houston. There's no more time to be playing around and experimenting. You got to make a decision about how you're going to do this thing. I think CJ is in the same situation that Jordan Love was in Green Bay, and they both can get in their own head, and they think too much. Look, just go do you, man. Go play ball. When Malik Willis came in last year and won 2.5 games because Jordan got hurt, all of a sudden Jordan was like, I want to get back in. I want to get back in. And he played a little bit better, but he was playing hurt most of the year. This year, go back to 2 weeks ago, Jordan went out with a shoulder injury in the first half. Malik Willis went right down the field. And Jordan was like, you know what? I think I'm okay. Came back into the game, and he started balling out. So maybe CJ needs to watch Davis do what he's doing and get back in there and say, okay, I got this. Hey, coach, I got this. And maybe that'll wake him up.
So here's my pushback to Stu a little bit. So one, we already know. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying Mills is going to take over the Texans and you trade CJ. I'm not saying that. We all know CJ is the future of that franchise. He is the guy. But I'm just saying, in this point of the season, since he was out, it's like you back in it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's easier. It'll be easier for to pull Mills and put CJ in and say, all right, you the guy, bro. This your franchise. Let's go. To pull Mills and put CJ in, then to pull CJ and then put Mills back in. You know, and then when the quarterback is hot, he hot. You know, I'm like, hey, if Tell you the truth, if I'm D'Amico, I'm be like, CJ, you the guy, man. You our future. But right now, I'm just gonna ride this hand
Well,
until all my cards out.
yeah,
I'm just gonna ride the hand. Like we back in. I'm just riding the hand.
yeah.
And then once Mills go into a game, he throw 2 picks. CJ, let's go.
Well,
That's
well,
that's how I roll it. I mean, but
well,
the thing is, CJ has
yeah.
to play well though. That's what I'm saying. He has to come in. He has to play well.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, they're too deep into the season now to kind of be indecisive and let's try this, let's go back. Yeah, whatever direction
They
that
got to pick a
D'Amico
direction.
goes in, that's
Got to
what he
stay
needs to
with it.
make his mind up because the season's on the line. They've got to go into Indy and they got to win this ball game. They have a shot. I mean, they got the
But
number one defense in the NFL. You don't want to spoil this
here's
opportunity.
the thing.
So you got
You don't want the what if.
yeah.
That's what you don't. You don't want what if we stay with Mills, or But if Mills have a bad game, you put him in. It's not a what if. So you don't want that what if. And you don't want the players start saying, "Damn, what if we would have stayed with Mills?"
And listen, I think CJ Stroud has earned the benefit of the doubt to say, okay, here are the keys, get back in there. But you're keeping in mind on a short leash because I think he'll wake up. I think he's kind of like Jordan Love a little bit, like, hey, yo, I don't want to lose my spot, and if I don't wake up, I just might, and he'll start balling out. I think CJ's just in his head. It's like, hey, man, just go play ball, do what you do, and you'll be okay. And I would give him another shot, because at the end of the day, just like Stu was saying, he is the better quarterback. He's just got to go show it. And it's a catch-22, Aaron. You're right. I mean, I can see both sides of it. D'Amico's got a lot to think about right now, but the Texans are paying CJ too much money for him to sit if he can go. So that being said, we'll see what happens. That's going to be 1:00 on Sunday. Buffalo and Pittsburgh at 4:25, also a big matchup on Sunday because the Steelers, let's face it, they're getting down to the point now where if they don't get it going, they're going to miss the playoffs. They actually need to win this game on Sunday. And I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be starting in this game or not. But you sure as heck don't want to go with Mason Rudolph. That's one thing you want. If you want this season alive, you don't want to go with Mason Rudolph. I tell you that right now. But they have to win this game, or they're in danger of missing the playoffs. Stu, your thoughts on this matchup?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the crazy thing is, both teams are coming off of a loss. The Bills have been up and down, struggling. One moment they're looking like world beaters. Next moment, Josh Allen's throwing a whole bunch of picks and they're not looking too good. Steelers are going to have to get it together. If Aaron is able to play, he needs to be out there. They need to get that whatever they need to put on old man Aaron. They need to get him right. You know what I'm saying? Because they need him. They need him. Rudolph is the red-nosed reindeer. It's not a good look. I believe that they definitely need. I believe that if Aaron Rodgers was playing last week, the Steelers would have won last week.
Yes.
They were right there. They could have won that game. Those are the type of games where you need your guy to play if he's able to. I don't know the severity of his injury like that, but it's like, hey, Rod, you need to get in there and get it done because they need this. It's going to be one of those type of games because I think that Buffalo team coming in there, they're trying to regalvanize themselves and trying to get a win. They're hungry for a win. They need a win. They need to pick themselves back up and get back in the winning mode. And then along with the Steelers, the Ravens are trying to have crept back into the fold, and it seems like the Ravens are going to try to run away with that division. So I think it's a must win on both sides, to be honest, Because if the Bills lose again, you know, a lot of talk is going to start on what's going on with Josh Allen and company. So I think it's one of those things where I'm picking, if Aaron plays, I'm picking the Steelers to win at home. If he doesn't play, I think the Bills will get the road game.
Well, I think so, because Buffalo's got to have this game as well. I mean, they're sitting at 7-4, and they're in danger. Who would have thunk it? They're in danger of missing the playoffs if they don't get it together. Aaron, your thoughts on this matchup?
I think Aaron plays. I think they said it's going to be a game time decision. I think he's going to give it a go because, like y'all said, they need this game, and they're going to need Rodgers to play in it to win, and it's a big game. And I don't think he wants to sit out this game. I think even with the wrist injury or hand injury, whatever it is, I think he's going to try to give it a go. And even if it's, painful, whatever he do to rubbing Advil on or whatever they're going to do, I think he's going to play.
Well, he's going to get the shot. There's no doubt about it.
Whatever it is, he's going to play. Because it's a big game. And this is the reason why they brought him in here for these type of games. So in the Bills, I would say the Steelers have been more consistent, even though they 6-5. The Bills have been like losing to Miami the way they lost, even though it's a division game. They just haven't been the same Bills. But I will say this year is going to be very interesting. You could have the Kansas City Chiefs, a wild card team. You can have the Baltimore Ravens. You can have the Buffalo Bills. You telling me what number one seed is going to want to see these teams? What team is going to want to see them even when they on the road in the playoffs? You telling me you're going to want to see one of these teams if they get in? Even though a lot of these teams are struggling, I think if they get in the playoffs, each one of these teams got a shot to go all the way. I would say, except for the Steelers, I don't think the Steelers got enough juice in them to make it all the way. But any of the other teams, Buffalo, Chiefs, Steelers. I mean, not Steelers, but Ravens.
The Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's the thing that I want to see as we get down the stretch. I think the Chiefs, Ravens, and Bills, all three of them are going to show up in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And it teams like New England and Denver and Indy, they're going to find out what real playoff football is. What real playoff football is. So I agree with you. I mean, the real is going to show up in postseason. You don't want to see Baltimore, Kansas City, or Buffalo in postseason. You do not want to see them, period. You don't want to see them. So I mean, we all know what they are. Okay, New England, you look good. That's a nice, pretty little silky, soft, smooth 10-2 record you got there. That's nice. You haven't really played anybody for real yet. Mm-hmm. You have not been in a dogfight. You haven't been in a back alley brawl with a big dog for real yet. Denver kind of has. I don't trust them against those three teams you mentioned. Not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying New England can't do it. I'm not saying Indianapolis can't do it. Their records are gaudy, and they played very, very well. But when it gets hot in the kitchen, can you stand tall there? I need to see it. I don't know if you can or not. I need to see it. And if you ask me to put some money on the table, I'm going with KC, Baltimore, and Buffalo. That's who I'm going with. They've already proven it. So great point, Aaron. Great point. With all that being said, man, we're going to get out of here. And and get ready to enjoy some football over the weekend. A lot of good college games coming up as well, which we didn't touch on. But I mean, the college football playoff is coming up, and I think this is the last weekend of college football. You got
We
Michigan
didn't
and
do the
Ohio
top 10.
What's that? What'd you say,
We
Stu?
didn't do the AFC, NFC. We didn't do the
Well,
AFC, NFC top.
So as you say that, good point. At the AFC top 5 list, I've got New England, Denver, the Colts, the Bills, and the Jags. How do you see this list? Is that accurate in your mind, Stu?
Right now it is. The top 5 list is based on what teams are doing now, not, looking at what they're going to do or postseason. So I think these, 5 teams have shown, as far as from a consistent standpoint, they've shown consistency. As you mentioned, the Patriots are 5-2. The Broncos have shown consistency. The Colts have shown consistency. The Bills, not so much, and the Jags, not so much. We can probably flip around those 2 teams however you like and put whoever you want in there. But I think the top 3 have definitely been consistent this year. And as of right now, that could change next week in this league. Week-to-week league, we've seen some crazy things happen this year. But I think as of right now, at this day and age, this time and moment, I'm okay with that top 5 list.
Tuchel, what do you think about this top 5?
Yeah, top 5 now. I agree with it. I think it's going to be different after this week, though. I don't think the Bills could be out if they lose. I don't think the Jags going to be in the top 5 much longer, in my opinion. But I think the Colts, Broncos, and Patriots going to be steady. Well, Broncos may get an L this week. I think that might be the upset of the week.
Who's
got?
Denver playing?
They got Washington.
Come on, Tuchel. Come on now. Come on.
I can tell you why. Nobody asks why.
Okay, go ahead on. Go ahead on there.
I can tell you why. Number one, Dan Quinn is calling the defense, which the defense did. We should have won the game in Miami. We lost to our kicker, number one. Our kicker missed 2 field goals, so that's why he got cut. So one, kicker we should have won. Defense played 100% better. Number 2, we getting 3 receivers back. We got McLaurin back, Brown back. We got Debo back. I mean, Debo been there, but we got him. So those was our receivers going into the game. 3, we got the right running back in there, Rodriguez, not Bill. Rodriguez should have been starting this whole time. And we lost against Miami again because Rodriguez had in the first half, I think he had like 50-something yards the first half. He had 1 carry the second half. Why? Don't know. Can't call it. So if Rodriguez get more carries, we get the running game. Consistent. Mariota's been consistent, even though he threw the pick in overtime. If Mariota continues to play how he's playing, the defense plays how it played against Miami, we're gonna win. Because Denver has no offense, really. I mean, that offense don't scare me. And I believe they're gonna come in this game saying we're gonna be able to do all this stuff against our defense, but Dan Quinn is the defensive coordinator now. It's not Joe. It's not him. It's Dan Quinn. And when Dan Quinn run defenses, Dan Quinn defenses are in the top 10. Now, why he didn't take it over earlier, can't answer that question. But the defense looked 100% better against Miami. And I guarantee you on Sunday night, they're going to look 100% better than they did against Miami again. Because when Dan Quinn gets in control of the defense, things happen. Don't know why. It just happens. And he's the defensive coordinator now. The defense looks 100% better. And we got more horses on the offensive side. The offense is going to look better. I think this is the sleeper pick this week, and I think this is an upset.
Well, Aaron, I'd like a full report on my desk Monday morning. Because I'm going to miss this one anyway.
I guarantee you, y'all two going to be – Mo going to be – well, Student's been laughing. He didn't say nothing. But I guarantee you, Mo, you're going to eat your words. Guarantee. I'm telling you. This is not the same Commanders that's been coming out there. We've been injury prone.
I will say this. Hey, we've seen worse happen this year. The way things have been going. Do the Commanders have a shot? Absolutely. You have a shot. I don't see you guys beating them right now. If Five was out there, I think it'd be a whole different conversation if he was playing well and Five was out there. But you guys got a chance to prove it. You get my boy Scary Terry back, Debo, and everything. That is going to open up the offense a lot. You guys are playing against a great defense. So it's going to be a great matchup on that standpoint. And with Dan Quinn calling the defense, it was way better, as you mentioned. So you guys definitely got it's the football. You got to put on a helmet. You got to play. So you guys got a shot. I would just be impressed if you guys did, pull off a win.
Yeah, I mean,
his offense is not that good though. Bo Nix is mediocre. He's not. He's up and down. But our defense is the reason why we've been losing games. It's like it's not our offense. It's our defense. We've been getting gashed. But Miami gashed Buffalo. I could say that. Miami gashed Buffalo. We went overtime with Miami. I mean, I don't know what is again. It is the NFL, but we should have won that game in regulation. We missed 2 field goals. That's why he got cut. And the 49ers picked him up. Don't know why. Anything over 50, he ain't gonna make. I'm just telling you that right now.
Our kicker got hurt, so we needed him for like 2 weeks.
Okay. As long as you got it for 2 weeks, just make sure Purdy get inside the 50. Like anything inside the 50, he's okay.
I'm going to real quick, guys, switch over to the top 10 in the entire league. As I've got to bounce out of here, but I'm going to give you the top 10 in the NFL, starting with the LA Rams, followed by the Patriots, Denver, Philly, Seattle, Frisco, Indy, Buffalo, Chi-Town, and the Jags. Stu, your thoughts?
I like it. I think, man, it's going to be some movement if Philly loses and if the Broncos lose to the Commanders. You're going to see some big movement. Of course, Seattle and the Niners, it's a pick-em type of situation. We have to see them one more time. We beat them the first go around. We got to see them again and see what happens with that. But I think pretty much everything else is stacked up quite nicely. But, I think all eyes are going to be on the Bills. I think the Bills get a lot of grace because of Josh Allen. I think that, we're real critical of him as we are with other quarterbacks. Of course, he has the talent. But, Josh Allen could throw interceptions with the best of them like anybody else anyway. So they're going to have to start winning games. If they lose to Pittsburgh, as Aaron pointed out, I think that moves them off the list if Pittsburgh wins. And all eyes are on Philly because we've seen Philly explode before to where they started getting in a funk and they started losing games and they couldn't shake it. And so if Philly loses again, and if the Broncos lose and if the Bills lose, I think that shakes up that top 10 tremendously. But I think as of right now, it's a fair list.
Too Tall, your thoughts on the top 10? I agree with the list, but I'm going to say this. I think if the Bills lose, I think they could bounce back. I think they could bounce back if they lose. But I think if the Eagles lose to the Bears and it's not just losing to the Bears, it's how they lost against Dallas. And plus all the talk. I think that right there, I'm gonna be paying attention to that Bears Eagles game, man. That right there, if they lose this game, and I hope they do lose, just because I just want to see what happens. You know, it's gonna be a lot of drama in Philly, and that's gonna be a lot of shakeup. If they lose this game, I don't see how you could put them. People still probably would have them in the top 10, but I don't see how you could put them in the top 5 if they lose this game.
You know what? I think you have a good point because you know, they're not showing that championship swag they had last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the games that they are struggling in, even though when they were winning, they were struggling like that. They weren't smooth, typical Philly wins. And then now that they're losing these ball games that you don't expect them to lose, I think something's going on in that locker room. I think we're looking at the same creepy, eerie, ghostly, haunting situation that we saw 3 years ago with that locker room where they were 10-1 and then proceeded to lose their next 5 and get bounced by Tampa in the first round. You know, it's like they're looking like that, you know, and I just it starts with Nick Sirianni to me. You're the head of the snake. You got to solve this problem. The talent's there in the locker room. You got to solve this problem. So I agree with you. If you know, you start looking at the Eagles, I think the Eagles are a team that's probably looking weaker than all the teams in the top 10 right now. But because they are who they are, you got to give them that much respect. And I expect them to beat Chicago. I really don't think the Bears are that good. If you just go out there and do what you're supposed to do, they should win this game. I'm going to pick them to win the game. But the way the Bears have been winning this year, dude, I mean, I don't know. They may pull another rabbit out of the hat because it's been a magic show with Chicago this year. I mean, they're just winning games. Like, how in the world did they win this game? And so, you know, they could do it again.
Caleb was getting flack at the beginning of the season because he paints his fingernails, right?
Yeah.
He ain't getting no flack no more because he started winning.
And if they win, if they keep winning, the fans are gonna paint their fingernails black.
That's what I was about to say. I said they keep winning, you're gonna see fans.
Is he still doing that? Is he still painting his nails?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. He's still doing that. Absolutely.
He's still painting his nails.
Hey,
wow.
Hey, Stu, he doesn't care.
He don't.
He could care less about that, man. He could care less about that. But you know, anyway, that being said, I mean, we got some good games coming up, you know, tomorrow. What's that?
I was just laughing.
We got some good games coming up tomorrow. But
Dang.
All right. Hey, fellas, I got to get. Hey, listen, I want to give full props to MAGNOS Dentistry out of Brazil, Belo Horizonte, Brazil, in the state of Minas Gerais. Also, check our show out on Spotify and also kchftv.org. In the meantime, happy Thanksgiving and may the peace of Jesus Christ be with you and your families. God bless.